So we started the recording now, and my name is Kevin from VAS Group, and today I have Rolf Sonderegger, CEO of obiFox, and Ryan Jones, FSM Solution Manager from SAP. Before we jump into the topics, I'd like to ask Rolf to please, very briefly, introduce obiFox for those who don't know obiFox.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome to everybody to the webinar. We are very happy to have Ryan with us from SAP US to hear from you about the customer expectations in the US. obiFox has been founded nearly 10 years ago. We will implement offices this year in the US and in Asia Pacific. And we focused since nearly 10 years now on implementing SAP FSM. That explains as well why we are a gold partner in this area. So some of you might know one of our products. It's an add-on to SAP FSM, the Outlook connector. But what brought us together today is our newest baby called obiFox.
All right. Thanks very much, Rolf. So your newest baby, obviously you felt a challenge. You experienced it in this service business, and you went after this development of new solution. What was that challenge, Rolf?
Yeah, what we have seen, when service technicians are out in the field, they are new to the company. They are in front of an equipment they have never seen, or they are in a situation where they are lacking for knowledge. So our idea was really to help them, to give them access to knowledgeable people. That was, let's say, the most important thing that we wanted to address.
Thank you. And Ryan, you're in touch with customers from the SAP point of view, great resignations and baby boomer generations leaving and so on. What have you seen in the customer base about these challenges?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I would say that, first of all, the knowledge management aspect is really important when it comes to field service management. And most of the companies are really always looking for ways to empower the technicians when they're working to get the answers that they need on the job. So for me, when I was looking at obiFox, it's more than just the team's integration here. It's going and showing who's worked on this equipment, if they need some assistance on the job, who has similar skills, and then really the ways to connect with those technicians when they need assistance and really share that tribal knowledge. So for me, the knowledge management aspect is ever growing, and I expect it to continue in importance for the years to come.
Do you hear this requirement from customers? So that they need this, they talk about this, they have challenges?
Yeah, definitely. So I've seen this come up in, when customers are issuing RFPs as well, that this is something that they're looking for, to have that integration, and looking for ways to spread that knowledge. So I would say, yeah, in most RFPs that we see from customers, it's always a requirement for the most part.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So for that challenge, Rolf, your team wanted to tackle these challenges. Could you brief us on the ideas behind what you've done in this new product?
Yeah, when we started to think about a good solution, though, for us it was quite clear that it's important that we don't want that the customer requires additional hardware or additional communication software that he already has. So we wanted really to use what is here And the most important thing, of course, is the knowledge. And yeah, in this context, a lot of companies are struggling with the great resignation. So especially in the service area, young people don't like to travel around for weeks, like that was the case for other generations, like the baby boomers. And the baby boomers, they have a huge knowledge. They are still in the companies. And the big question now is how to capture the knowledge before they leave. And yeah, last point, it was important for us really not to open the next IT project on the customer side. It's really start, really install and start to use it immediately.
And you used Microsoft Teams technology, and what was the reasoning behind using Microsoft Teams for collaboration and communication?
Yeah, you know, Microsoft Teams, at least in our area here in Europe, probably Ryan can say something about how it is in the US, but in Europe, nearly every company is using Microsoft Teams, so there are no additional costs, so it's ready to use.
All right, thank you, thank you. I guess I have accepted the challenge to demo the product live.
Thank
Before
you.
we see the product live, explain how it looks like. If you are using FSM, SAP Field Service Management mobile application, you will have a new screen that will show how it's accessed as you see it on the screen that is shared. Let's say a technician goes on an assignment for an equipment or location or a customer base, and this information is provided to the technician. So on the right hand side, there is information about who has worked on this asset in the past, the number of visits, the last date of visit, also the types of jobs they've done, like who installed this, who repaired it in the past. And on the left-hand side, you'll see about the person, about their team, for example, about their location. So we are not calling them in the middle of the night. And about their time zone and local time and statuses from the team, Microsoft Teams. And in this screen, you're able to actually contact them directly from within FSM application. So let's see it live. A very brief demo for those that are you're using FSM application, Field Service Management, SAP. Here is how it looks like. I have an assignment in here. Let's say a laptop is broken, and when I, as a technician, go in the field, I realize I have questions. I need to know who's installed this machine, where are the drawings? I cannot find it, no installation drawings and so on, which I need directly, who is around to help me. And when you use this menu at the top right corner, now when the obiFox extension is installed, you have a new menu. And by that new menu, when it's accessed, it checks the equipment and the location and asset on the activity and looks up the history and provides the history to the technician. So what I can see, for instance, Patrick, Valerie, and Rolf have worked on this machine in the past. Their last visit day, the number of visits, who has been really working on this a lot in the past, and also what type of jobs they've done, like repair and maintenance and installation, if that's the case. I can directly, from within FSM, I can contact them by Microsoft Teams. For example, I can contact Rolf. If I click, then a chat opens with Rolf. I could do the same with when I would like to talk to them, so I can just phone them, and a phone call opens with Rolf. Rolf at the moment is in the webinar, so he cannot answer me. And when I need to chat with a group of people to get their opinions, I could select one or more, and then an option of group chat and group call activated on the application. Then I could talk to 2 people at the same time, if necessary. What you can see, it's a 2 section in here. Experts who worked on this equipment in the past, looking at this equipment, at this asset and the history. Also, if there is not enough history, the application looks at the technicians who have worked on similar assets based on their asset type in FSM, and also lists them. So, for example, Sophie has worked on laptops of this type, but not this particular laptop. But she or he may be able to help me.
Hey, Kev, if I may, when I'm making that call to the technician as well, would I have the ability to, make a video call and, link with the technician via video, show them the asset, and, kind of collaborate that way as well?
Absolutely. So almost everyone now has Microsoft Teams, and for that, making the call and video call and so on, you don't require any additional hardware or lens or glasses or anything. You could just use your mobile, connect with them. You can make a phone call, you can make a video call, and absolutely good point. Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
If there's not enough history, let's assume these guys have left the company. So I cannot contact them, or there is not enough history. I would like to know who is around me to help me. Who's qualified, basically, not necessarily work on this asset. Then there is an option, a second option in here, buy equipment for the moment and buy skills. Then it looks at the skills requirement of the activity in FSM and lists those people who are qualified. And in the same fashion, I could just contact them individually or select more than one person to make group or individual, group calls or group chats or phone calls for that matter. It's all initiated from within FSM. You don't have to log in or anything like that. And by that, I can go back after my conversation, going back to my assignment. The main persona for this development, as Ralph mentioned, was the technicians in the field when they are alone and they need information and so on. In the meantime, this application is available on the planning board, FSM planning board as well. For those who are using FSM planning board, the same concept applies in here. However, for the planner, in this case, I have this activity and this extension opens for me, and I can do the same. I can see before dispatching a job, before finding new resources to do this, I want to know the history. Who has worked on this? When was the last time? How many times have we been there? Or we've installed it on the 17th of January, and now today we have a warranty case. Why is that? Do I need to investigate things before we send someone? So this is really information available for the planner. They could initiate Microsoft Teams chats and calls directly from the planning board with the same fashion. You click on it and it opens for information before we decide who is going to do this. All right, so that was a short demo. We go back to our presentation.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Right, no worries. Now, having seen that, Ryan, how do you see service organizations benefit from obiFox?
Yeah, Well, first of all, it's encouraging to see kind of the Teams integration there. I know SAP and Microsoft have a great partnership, so this is really re-emphasizing that. But going to when I think about the service organizations, I definitely think it will help increase your first time fix rate. The main reason being is beyond just the Teams integration, I think that's the knowledge management aspect that makes it easy to identify who are the people you need to contact when you do need help, and really making sure that we make the most out of everyone's tribal knowledge and share it with the greater crew when working on those jobs. So from the tech perspective, I really like the collaboration aspect there to help with that entire process. But when you look at the schedulers as well, I think it makes it a little bit easier when you're looking at kind of who to dispatch to, and just having a little bit more knowledge on top of course, we have things like the best matching technician in FSM, but this also just adds another level of simplicity to seeing, when was this worked on, what type of work was done, and just making that a little bit more transparent. So yeah, I think it's very useful for service organizations, and I know Ralph might talk a little bit about some of the roadmap items for obiFox a little bit later, which I'm equally as excited about as well.
Thank you. And Rolf, what about end customers? What is it in there for end customers?
Yeah, but reduce cost of service is always interesting for customers, but they really become happy when they can increase the equipment uptime. That's really the point.
That's really the point. Happy customers and happy technicians, right? Okay.
Exactly.
You and I, Rolf, were exchanging ideas about the next steps that you have for obiFox, and I learned that there is a next release, and I try to summarize it like this: that we have in FSM at the moment data and information about service assignments and notes and reports and attachments and feedback codes and fault codes and so on and so forth. With obiFox, we have access to conversations, videos and audios recordings that could be transcribed as well. And all of that, you are trying to use machine learning to extract data, keywords, categorize problems and solutions, the crew involved, and provide a root cause analysis for the problem that was tackled. And next time, when something similar happens, you're able to compare it, present the information and patterns and potential solutions as a decision aid for the technician. Now, my question is this just a roadmap, or have you have a product, or where are you at with this?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. We have a product. It's just not yet released. That is one point. And I wanted to mention one point. When people hear about machine learning, AI, etc., they have always the feeling, yeah, it takes years and years to get an amount of data to get good results, and that is really not the case. You would get really good results within months, not within years. So we have the technology. We have obiFox learning with the learning machine, and we would be happy if some of you who are participating now in this webinar, when you would be interested, that we could do together with you a proof of concept. Just get in contact with us.
All right, thank you. So if you're interested in obiFox and obiFox, the learning obiFox,
exactly,
please contact Rolf. Thank you. So looking at that, I wanted to summarize what I saw from obiFox in this screen as well. So when we have data and we are trying to move from data to knowledge and wisdom, we construct relations amongst data, and that we call it now information. to have knowledge, we construct patterns, and wisdom is based on principles. And for that, we need to move into two dimensions. Now, we need to understand things, and we need to be connected. And what I like about obiFox and what you explained is that existing obiFox tackles the connectedness aspect. So we are connecting people. We are connecting people to the source of information and so on. In the meantime, if you're learning obiFox, you assist in constructing relations and patterns. And I think that's a big step towards organizational knowledge management. Now, let's go back to the FSM platform. Ryan, it's very interesting to see how flexible and extensible SAP FSM is, providing options to the ecosystem to contribute to the platform. What is your take on that?
Yeah, look, extensions are definitely a huge part of the FSM strategy. We feel, that the independent software vendors, make us stronger and help drive innovation, especially in some of these kind of different areas that are outside of the FSM core platform, if you will. When you sent me the obiFox extension, I got the code, downloaded it, and I had it up and running from my planning board and on my mobile app within 30 minutes. So it's lightweight, it's flexible, it's easy to install, and helps drive innovation for our FSM customers where they really need this type of functionality that's outside of the platform. So really the two benefits from our extensions, and we're very grateful for obiSum for, of course, this extension, the Outlook extension, what's coming with Learn, but it comes back to providing that enhanced functionality. So we always try to provide as much standard processes as possible within FSM. But these extensions really provide that additional functionality to our customers that aren't part of the core. And again, we're grateful to have partners like obiSum who are going out and tackling that. And then the second is, of course, the integration that otherwise wouldn't exist. We talked about simple apps that we use in our day-to-day life. Of course, we know the Outlook extension, but Teams. I think ever since COVID, this has really taken off. It's become the #1 business application that we're using for communication, at least when it comes to chat and whatnot. So. That integration, I think, is key. You'll also notice other ones that we've looked at with augmented reality, with TeamViewer and SiteCall. But great to have obiSum on board and continuing to build more functionality for our customers.
Thank you. All right. So Ralph, if anyone is interested to contact you, how does the investment look like from the customer point of view, if they want to have obiFox or try obiFox? Or
yeah, it's quite easy and similar to the SAP FSM licensing model. All of you know that it's based on the number of users and on the contract duration. We included the same services from hosting to maintenance. So in a case we speak to a customer with 500 field service user and a contract duration of 5 years, that would make approximately $3 per user and per month.
And you have an early Fox promotion? Early bird?
Early, yeah, good one. Early Fox promotion. Yeah, of course, we are interested. We started, to go to the market with the product a few weeks ago, and some of you might be very interested in the product, and it's now the moment to take a decision. Till end of April, you will be able to purchase obiFox for a flat price of €1 per user and per month.
All right, thank you. So, let's say if I'm interested and I would like to invest in this, now how do you materialize the return on investment?
Good. Yeah, good question. Yeah. How do you get to your return on investment? So it's really very easy. Think about, you would just save 1 hour 1 hour per year working time of a technician. So the investment is paid. So, and I'm sure a lot of you that are now in the meeting, you have ideas where you could save 1 hour or many more hours, and it would be a fantastic business case for you to invest in obiFox.
So based on your calculation, if someone saves 1 hour per technician per year, that investment is already paid off for that year. No, simple
Yeah.
as that, right?
Think,
All right.
Kevin, just think that you don't have to do a second visit, the customer side, where you had a drive 2 hours to
Yep.
go and 2 hours back. So it's
Exactly.
really very, very easy to get the return.
Exactly. Thank you. So today we learned that this obiFox extension is available on the FSM store. You don't need to have an IT project to use it. You can have it, install it, and configure it. Use it in about 10 minutes. It's a matter of minutes. You can visit the YouTube channel that obiFox provides for installations and user guides. You can get in touch with Opusem. You can try obiFox for free for 2 weeks. You don't need anything, just go and download it and use it. And if this link that you will receive in this file installation and configuration guide is provided. Now, one question, Rolf, what if someone has additional requirements? I was talking to someone and said, hey, we go somewhere that we don't have, for example, equipment. We need to have it based on customer. We want to know who visited and how many times and the history about that customer site, not equipment. How do you tackle these requirements?
Thank you for this question. We presented the solution already to a few customers, and exactly this type of questions came up. So we are really very interested to understand what you have as additional wish, or how we should make the product easily configurable for your requirements. So I there were companies asking us, could you support Zoom, or could I do a classical phone call as well without using Teams? So just come to us, and it's important for us to understand what your wishes are, what you require, and then we will find out how we could bring that to our roadmap.
All right, thank you. So if you wish to have obiFox, however, modified to your needs, please get in touch with Opusem and Ralph. All right, so a final note, Ryan, before we go to the QA session, if you have any comments to make, please.
No, just really excited about the app here, and thanks to Opusem for being a great partner for extensions here, and bringing more innovation to the customer. So always happy to support this. I feel that the whole network makes us stronger from an SAP perspective, and for all our customers as well. So just thanks to you, and thanks to everyone for joining here as well.
Likewise, thank you.
Yeah,
all
likewise.
Right. So we are at the end of the webinar, 30 minutes. Well, we have been very punctual, it seems. And however, we have a few minutes, we can stay on. If there are any questions, I think you can also write it in the chat, or if you want, raise your hand and Ralph will unmute you. You can ask your question directly if there are any questions. Okay. No hands raised, notes.
Maybe just a quick question from my side. I think it'd be interesting. You know, if customers want to use this and do the free trial. I know you mentioned that there's 2 weeks available. Kind of, what does that look like? Can they just download it directly on the extension directory within FSM? Do they need to reach out directly to obiSum, or how do they try it beforehand?
Sorry, Ryan, I was just reading now a question.
That's all right. I got that.
Okay.
Because I've gone through this path. But there's no need to contact obiSum if you don't need to. You go to the FSM store, foundational services, you install the application. You just need a link to configuration guide, because there are a couple of configuration steps that you need to follow, which you will receive during as part of this webinar in the slide deck. No need for anything else. Yeah, so I can read the questions maybe, and then we could try. Is a 3 persons the maximum we can be in a group conversation? No, it was just an example. By configuration, we limited. I think we've seen that it's limited into 5. Correct, Ralph? So the 5 that are offered, the 5 top people that have been visiting this equipment, and then you can contact them. There's no limit on how many number of people, as far as are shown on the screen. Is there any other question?
There was another one.
There was one about attachments there, I believe, as well. And just as an FYI, Ralph and Kev, I believe that the microphones are muted for the participants, hence why most of the questions are coming through the chat here.
Yes. Are we able to unmute everyone? I'm not an expert in Microsoft webinars.
Let me try. Okay. So probably now it's possible. So would anybody like to speak now?
Yes, there are questions in the QA session. Let me also read those. Thanks for the note. Yes, there are a number of questions that we missed that. Can they send the attachment and photos like normal Teams? Yes. As far as I know, and please confirm, Rolf.
Yes. Yes.
It opens Microsoft Teams, and then you could do whatever.
Yeah.
The good point is that FSM has access to those later on, and it comes with the next product that Ralph mentioned, and you could reuse them if you need to.
Yeah, exactly.
If that answers your question. Manuel is asking, is the dispatching board, in the dispatching board, is there an option to assign the technician from within the obiFox extension? For example, if you want to assign the same technician as last time. Good question, Rolf.
Sorry, I'm trying, Kevin, I'm trying to
read. Okay,
to open the channel, because Manuel Maas would like to ask to speak, and
okay, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm sorry that I'm not.
I think for the moment is not, and we can feed the information to Rolf and team for consideration, but at the moment is not. But it's a good question and good use case. Yes, why not? Sorry. Damien is asking, obiFox learning engine is own developed by obiSum, or what's the underlying platform tech there, and how configurable are used data and attributes, rules, and logic behind it? obiFox learning, I've been in the discussion with the development team as a partner, is using a service, is not own developed, let's say, machine learning. So they're using a service from OpenAI, and they use it How configurable? I think it's fully configurable. It all depends on your needs. Based on your data, you could have a POC, as Ralph mentioned. You just need days of data, you don't, not years or months even. And the configuration is completely up to you, if I answered that question. Oliver is asking, is it also planned that UDF could be customized in obiFox? That's a good question. UDF meaning like, okay, so for example, search based on the UDF to provide the history. That would be also a good point to have the discussion with. At the moment is not, but definitely is possible. Since obiFox is from within FSM, accessing FSM data, anything is possible. It's just a matter of showing it. And now design the screen and the logic to bring it. Otherwise, accessing this data, UDF or other fields, is not a problem because it's accessing your FSM database. Then you need to, how configurable is the plugin within the planning and dispatching web UI? Is it like a screen configuration concept? No, at the moment, no. You install it and that's it. So what you see is what you get. If you need configuration, changing it, then you must talk to the product provider. Is the definition of has worked on the same asset type based on fixed characteristics, or is freely definable business partner skills, equipment plus UDFs, etc.? This goes back to this like same kind of type of questions, UDFs. It could be based on those. At the moment, based on what I know, is based on like the asset type, like the construction type of the asset maintained in FSM. Can it be any other field? Yes. Is it configurable at the moment? I don't think so. Remember, it's just the first release of this product, and it's all of these good ideas could be could make your roadmap, Ralph.
Yeah, but
Oliver, so what if the authorization roles in FSM are set so that the technician can see common or their own activities? Are these restrictions? There is no in the background when you Oliver, when you install obiFox, you need to have a client. So it uses a client to connect to FSM. So you need to have a client, and just in the configuration, it's a client and client secret.
Yes.
And that client. And that client is, you can define for that client what can be accessed by that client.
Okay, and when the user, sorry, yes, I know we use SFFO also. What is when in FSM the restrictions for technicians are in this way that they can only see their own activities and not the activities of another? So we have several roles and with several authorization settings. When I use obiFox and you show us that the technician can see on his device all the technicians that worked on this equipment, but if we have in FSM the restriction that he can't, is it possible to see it in obiFox or not?
No, no.
Okay.
This is what you see. So you just see the information. That's all. So you know, for example, this guy has been has had 2 visits,
Okay.
and that's it. So the information is provided to you, but you cannot, based for the exact reason, you cannot drill down into these activities.
Okay, thank you.
So I have to go to the chat. Maybe I see something also there. Not possible to speak. Yeah. So we are having some technical challenges that unfortunately people cannot speak.
But Oliver managed it now to get the
yes,
microphone.
that's right.
Yeah, I changed the setting. I don't know whether people can now speak.
So let's see what Manuel, if I make you a presenter, is it gonna change your setting? Can you
Or if
unmute yourself?
I am able to speak, but you answered my question already, so all good from my side.
Okay, fine.
Very good.
So are there any other questions? So if not, you can always send us an email and we will answer it, of course, or just get in contact and we can have a talk.
All right.
Thanks a lot for the presentation.
Thank you for joining, everyone. It was a pleasure
Thank you very
to
much.
talk to you, to answer your questions, not exactly talking to you. And thanks, Ryan, for your time.
Thank you.
And of course, Rolf. And have a great evening or morning.
You too,
And you will
thanks.
receive information, instructions, and guidance, and so on, if you have provided your email address at the time of registration.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you
Take
to
care.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.